Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on a very specific, honestly, incredibly frustrating issue that plagues so many of us over 60. We are going to completely demystify chronic throat mucus. It's time to figure out exactly what your body is trying to tell you, and more importantly, how we can actually fix it. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. Why do you always feel like there's mucus stuck in your throat? And to be clear, we aren't talking about having a cold or the flu here. We're talking about that annoying, everyday routine. You know the one, you clear your throat the second you wake up. You kind of cough lightly during conversations. You just feel something sitting right there. Thick, sticky, and completely stubborn. And it seems like no matter how much water you drink, it just keeps coming back. Well, most people just assume this is, a normal part of aging, or maybe it's just bad allergies. But what if it's actually a signal? After the age of 60, your body goes through these subtle changes that, frankly, most of us are never fully warned about. Your saliva production drops a bit. The muscles coordinating your swallow, they get just a little less efficient, and your airway lining becomes highly sensitive. So your body is actually adapting to protect itself. Mucus is literally its primary tool to keep delicate tissues moist and trap bacteria. So why does it feel like there's suddenly way too much of it? Well, let's count down the 5 hidden causes. Starting our countdown at hidden cause number 5, silent dehydration. As we age, our thirst mechanism naturally weakens, so you might not even feel thirsty when your body is practically begging for fluid. On top of that, many of us over 70 are drinking way less water than we realize. We swap it out for mild diuretics like coffee or tea, or maybe we're taking common blood pressure medications that actually pull fluid out of our system. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference between your body at 40 versus 70. Back in the day, your resilient tissues and glands easily compensated if you were a little dehydrated. But post-60, those small changes feel so much bigger. That mild, almost invisible dehydration turns your normally thin, slippery, protective mucus into something sticky and stubborn. It literally clings to your airway instead of just washing down smoothly like it used to. Moving on to hidden cause number 4, medication side effects. Look, many of us over 65 are taking a few daily prescriptions, and several of these directly mess with how your throat feels. ACE inhibitors, for example, can trigger these persistent dry coughs. Beta blockers can completely alter your airway sensitivity, and anticholinergics, they actually dry up your saliva. This leaves you feeling like you have this thick phlegm stuck there, when what you're really experiencing is unexpected dryness combined with thickened secretions. Uncovering hidden cause number 3, postnasal drip driven by low-grade inflammation. So after 60, your immune system kind of shifts. It becomes less aggressive in fighting off bugs, but weirdly more inflammatory in other ways. We also tend to spend more time indoors, right? Where heating systems bake the moisture out of the air, AC units circulate dust, and allergens just sort of accumulate. All of this creates a mild chronic irritation in your nasal tissues. You don't even need full-blown allergies to start producing this thick, slow-draining mucus. Now, revealing hidden cause number 2, silent reflux. When most of us hear the words acid reflux, we immediately picture classic heartburn, that burning pain right in the middle of your chest after a heavy meal. But here's the major surprise. After 60, reflux often becomes completely silent. I mean, no burning, no obvious discomfort in your chest whatsoever. So what exactly is silent reflux then? Clinically, it's called laryngopharyngeal reflux, or LPR. Basically, it's when tiny amounts of stomach acid sneak their way upward at night while you're sleeping. When that acid touches the incredibly delicate, sensitive tissues of your throat, your body immediately launches a defense mechanism. It pumps out more mucus. Not because you're coming down with something, but because your throat is desperately trying to throw up a shield against that nighttime acid. And now we arrive at the number 1 most overlooked hidden cause of chronic throat mucus. This might actually shock you because the number 1 cause isn't about your throat at all. It is entirely about your nervous system. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it highlights the real culprit, the vagus nerve. This is a massive, crucial nerve that wires your brain directly to your throat, your heart, and your digestive system. It regulates swallowing and controls exactly how sensitive your throat feels. Post-60, the balance of this nerve can shift, making it hypersensitive. Suddenly, totally normal everyday mucus, the exact kind your body produces constantly just to protect itself, feels abnormal. Your throat becomes hyper-aware of every single drop. And that hyper-awareness, it traps you in a wildly frustrating throat-clearing cycle. It starts with a sensation. You feel a little mucus, so you aggressively clear your throat. But that forceful clearing creates minor irritation in the tissue. Your body detects that irritation and says, better produce even more mucus for protection, which of course leads right back to feeling more sensation. It's a behavioral loop that can literally persist for years if you don't break it. Let's move to our next section, metabolism and sleep connections, and see how this all builds together. You see, this throat sensation is actually deeply connected to your metabolism and how you sleep. What's sitting on your dinner plate and even your sleep posture are directly influencing how your throat feels the very next morning. Let's contrast digestion at 40 versus digestion at 70. At 40, your body processed a late, heavy, carb-loaded meal in no time. But after 60, digestion slows down. Gastric emptying takes a lot longer. If you eat a late dinner now, your blood sugar stays elevated longer into the night, triggering subtle, low-grade inflammation that actually thickens your mucus. Plus, having a full stomach overnight drastically increases your risk of that silent reflux we were just talking about. Then we have your actual sleep mechanics. Sleeping on your back allows sinus mucus to pool directly in the back of your throat, just thanks to gravity. Breathing through your mouth dries out your tissues, forcing them to pump out thicker secretions to make up for the dryness. And because our deep sleep cycles get a bit shorter as we age, we naturally swallow way less often during the night. So all those secretions just sit there, pooling and accumulating until you wake up. Which brings us to your 6-step balance reset. The goal here absolutely is not to eliminate your mucus. Doing that would leave your throat totally vulnerable and dry. We just want to restore functional balance so the mucus can go back to doing its job quietly behind the scenes. Let's walk through the first 3 steps. Step 1, hydrate earlier in the day. Start with a big, full glass of water right in the morning and take consistent, small sips throughout the day to keep the mucus thin without causing those annoying midnight bathroom trips. Step 2, finish your dinner a full 3 hours before bed. This is huge for preventing that silent evening reflux. And step 3, use a bedside humidifier, especially during those dry winter months, to protect your nasal passages from chronic indoor irritation. Now for the final 3 steps. Step 4, add some solid protein and fiber to your dinner. This helps stabilize your blood sugar overnight and brings down that subtle inflammation. Step 5, retrain that throat clearing reflex. This one is tough, but instead of forcefully hacking and clearing your throat, take a small sip of water and swallow gently. This physically breaks that irritation cycle we talked about. And finally, step 6, support your vagus nerve. Just doing some simple, slow nasal breathing or even light humming communicates safety to your nervous system. It literally calms down that hypersensitivity. So, the crucial point is addressing the worry. Functional, not fatal. Persistent throat mucus can quietly create a whole lot of hidden anxiety, right? You might find yourself worrying that your lungs are failing or that you have some sort of severe disease. But let's clarify that difference right now. True lung congestion usually involves a heavy, productive chest cough and real shortness of breath. The throat mucus we are discussing today is just a localized upper airway sensation, and your breathing itself remains completely normal. Understanding this distinction is absolutely vital because fear and anxiety literally tighten your throat muscles and amplify every single symptom. I want you to remember this quote. Your body is not betraying you. It is adapting. Read that again. It's so true. Small imbalances just linger a bit longer when you're 70 compared to when you were 40. But with the right gentle adjustments, shifting your hydration, tweaking your dinner time, retraining that clearing reflex, this natural adaptation can become completely comfortable again. I want to leave you with one final provocative question as we wrap up this explainer. Tonight, instead of aggressively clearing your throat, what small shift will you make? Will you drink a bit more water earlier in the day? Will you try sleeping on your side instead of your back? Pick just one step, take back control, and give your body the balance it's been asking for.